Some coaches call out-of-bounds situations the special teams of basketball. Done right, they can win you games. Think about it. If you could score 4 to 6 more points per game on baseline situations, that could swing a handful of games in your favor. When your team has a baseline out-of-bounds play, do you settle for just getting the ball in bounds, or are you thinking score? If you want to get buckets in baseline out-of-bounds situations, check out these 11 plays from the top teams and coaches in the NBA. These plays utilize 2 primary themes to generate great shots: screen-the-screener action and decoy screens. No matter what level you coach at, these tactics consistently put the defense in bad situations. Steal the plays for your playbook and make sure your special teams truly are special. These clips were compiled and edited by Michele Conti. Be sure to give Michele a follow on X at Michele Conti 00. For more great out-of-bounds plays from Gonzaga's men's basketball team, click the link in the description to get your free PDF. Screen-the-screener plays are effective for a couple of reasons. The initial screen usually puts pressure on the rim, causing the defense to collapse. If they do, the screener is often open, coming to the perimeter on the second screen. Screen-the-screener plays also offer flexibility in terms of initial alignment and create opportunities for counters like slips and twirls. Check out the creative ways NBA coaches utilize this action to punish defenses. Atlanta's initial alignment suggests they are going to set a stagger screen for DeAndre Hunter, who starts at the top of the key. Instead of coming off the stagger, Hunter curls off of Bogdanovic's screen. This confuses the defense and puts his defender behind him, meaning he actually was a viable scoring option on this play. Bogdanovich then uses Jalen Johnson's pin screen towards the corner. This is commonly referred to as a twirl action. Johnson does a great job of forcing Maxi Kleber over the top of his screen, giving Bogdanovich space to turn the corner and attack the rim. Screen-to-screener actions are most effective with a good shooter setting the initial screen. They don't come any better than Steph Curry. Because of his gravity, his defender is reluctant to help on the screen. In this instance, Darius Garland is on the outside of Steph, offering no help. Notice the physicality of Steph's screen. This is a great example for players of what it looks like to be a willing and unselfish screener. In this case, he creates an open layup for Wiggins at the rim. Here's the same action from a different formation. Unlike the previous play, Steph is now inbounding. Notice that his defender is now on the inside of his screen in a more traditional help position. That puts him in a trail position on the second screen. Against an elite shooter, that's a bad place to be. These 2 plays are a great example of the effectiveness of screen-to-screener actions. If you score early in the game on the initial screen, come back to that look later on. The defense is more likely to clamp down on the first action, opening up one of the later options. Let's look at some other examples of that. Detroit uses a common formation for screen-to-screener action. However, they add a slight wrinkle that confuses the defense. Instead of setting the initial screen, they slip it. This creates confusion for the Trailblazers defenders, who are unsure of whether to switch or stay with their man. The second screen does a great job of forcing the Blazers defender to go over the screen, creating space for a shot. The piston spacing also creates the option for a slip by the second screener, which would result in a dunk. Here's another option from the same look, run in the same game 1 minute earlier. Instead of setting the traditional first screen towards the rim, Malik Beasley changes his screening angle at the last second and sets a tremendous screen. This causes indecision by the Trailblazers defenders. As a result, Fontecchio gets space as he comes off the second screen from Stewart for an open 3. Memphis uses the same formation to set up their screen-to-screener action. After setting the initial screen, Desmond Bane starts towards the corner. However, he realizes that Grady Dick is on his outside, trying to prevent him from getting open off the second screen. Bane uses his positional advantage to cut to the basket for an open layup. Utah throws a couple interesting wrinkles into their screen-to-screener sets. Here, Lauri Markkanen sets the first screen. In most cases, he would then come off a screen from Walker Kessler to the corner. Instead of setting the second screen to free up a player going away from the rim, the Jazz set another screen that puts pressure on the rim. This forces the Suns to switch a smaller player onto Markkanen, opening up a lob at the rim. Had Markkanen not been open, the Jazz would continue into a second screen-to-screener action, with Walker Kessler screening in for Cody Williams, who set the back screen for Markkanen. This is a great counter to the previous play. It starts the same way, with Markkanen setting the initial screen to free a teammate going opposite of the ball. However, instead of setting the back screen for Markkanen, Bryce Sensabaugh slips the screen and uses Walker Kessler's screen to get open in the corner. The Jazz then finish the screener action by having Kessler set a down screen for Markkanen, leaving him open at the top of the key for a shot or drive. If the defense were to switch this screen, you'd also have a great opportunity for a high-low post entry. Decoy screens are an effective way to mask a scoring action with a prior action and get the defense in rotation. One way NBA teams do this is by having a player set multiple screens in different directions. The first screen forces their defender to help in one direction, leaving them unable to help on the second screen going in a different direction. Decoy screens can also be used to create an inbounds pass opportunity that then flows into a scoring action. Let's look at examples of both types of plays. Here, the Clippers set an initial back screen. The 5's defender is in drop coverage, protecting the paint. This sets up the scoring action, a screen for Norm Powell, one of the Clippers' top scorers. Because the 5 defender is in a drop, he's not in position to help on the screen. This allows Powell to catch the ball with speed going towards the rim, allowing him to attack and finish. Jakob Poeltl sets a back screen. This puts pressure on the rim, drawing Nikola Jokic towards the basket. Poeltl then sets a second screen, this time for Grady Dick going towards the corner. Because Jokic is protecting the rim, Dick is able to curl for a mid-range shot. On this play, Tobias Harris sets an initial backscreen for Malik Beasley going towards the rim. The rim threat of Beasley's cut enables the ball to be inbounded to Harris just off the block, making him an immediate scoring option. This cues the next scoring action, a pin-down screen for Beasley. As with the Jazz play we saw previously, he has multiple options. He can shoot, as he does here. He also has big gaps to drive on either side. Finally, a high-low post option exists if the defense switches. Baseline out of bounds plays are great scoring opportunities. You essentially get a start of possession with the ball close to the basket. If you got the ball there with a pass or drive, you'd immediately think score. Do the same in out of bounds situations. Installing screen the screener and decoy screen plays are effective ways to do this. They consistently create open looks and give you multiple scoring options. A special thanks to Michele Conti for compiling and editing these clips. Be sure to give him a follow at Michele Conti on X. If you want instant access to a free, printable PDF of 12 more brilliant out-of-bounds plays from the University of Gonzaga's men's basketball team, make sure to click the link in the description. Make sure to click and subscribe and then click the bell button so you're the first to know when we release more new videos. Thanks for watching.